I just came back home from watching the Odyssey and it was insane. To start off, this movie has like every actor ever. Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, the guy who hates naps. If you can think of an actor, they're in this movie. So yeah, star-studded cast. I also want to talk about how insane the shots were. So many awesome wide shots, which I love, especially when you have as awesome of a world as the Odyssey is taking place in. Just absolutely insane shots. They're far away so you can see everything around what is happening, and the sets are amazing as well. I don't want to even imagine how much time it took to create these incredible sets, and there's just so many of them. So yeah, fantastic visuals. And the attention to detail in this movie is ridiculous. There's a scene where current Anne Hathaway is talking, and with the lighting, you could see the wrinkles on her forehead. And then you cut to a flashback like a second later, and her face is clear of wrinkles. Like, that is the attention to detail that I love. So yeah, great work on that kind of stuff. At the beginning of this movie, there's a lot of yap and a lot of flashbacks, and I guess that's kind of what the whole movie is with Odysseus. But I didn't realize it at the beginning because I have no prior knowledge of the Odyssey. So I was like, when is this movie going to start? But it kind of already started and I just didn't realize. But yeah, as the movie went on, I really liked the way they told the story through flashbacks and cutting back from Tom Holland to Matt Damon. I'm going to be using their actor names because I can't remember everyone's name in this movie. There are so many people. So yeah, I really like the style of going back and forth. It keeps everything fresh, and I like that about it. Now I want to talk about Odysseus's character. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. Hard word for me to say. I already can't pronounce words regularly, so yeah. Odysseus is absolutely sick in this movie. He's so badass. He aura farms. He does a bunch of cool shit. But that cool shit also leads to a bunch of reckless stuff that end up getting his people killed, like shooting the Cyclops in the face. Not needed, but he still does it anyway. Or when he ties himself up on the boat to hear the siren's song. Like, dude, there's no need for that, but you're just so cool that you get away with it. But yeah, I love the reckless part of him because it's almost like the cool shit that he does, like fight 100 people at the end of this movie, is rationalized because yeah, this dude just doesn't care about the risk. He's gonna do it either way. And sometimes it backfires, and other times it looks fucking awesome, which mostly it did in this movie. So yeah, I really like that attitude with Odysseus. My friends didn't like it. They were complaining that he was getting too many men killed, but I think for an Odyssey movie, that's what I want to see. I want to see a badass hero, and that's what he was. I also want to say I think the scenes in the dark look so good. Using only like the lantern and fire as light looked fantastic. I also want to add on, just because we were talking about Odysseus' character, I think Tom Holland's character was fantastic as well. You have this kid who wants to see his father and is kind of lost a little bit without him and needs him. He can't really protect himself on his own, and he kind of gets his ass kicked a little bit throughout the movie, but then eventually fighting by his father's side at the end of the movie, he does some shit and he actually kills someone. That was awesome to see, and I also love when he dropped down some weapons in the hole and he goes, "Dad, here," or whatever he said. It just shows that he gained some power from finally getting his dad back, and I love that. As a guy who loves his dad, seeing dad stuff in movies like that, awesome. I also do want to say that I was able to see the Trojan Horse part of this movie as a preview when I saw Sinners in 70mm. I just want to throw that out there because it was really cool to see it again with all my friends. And I was like, yeah, I already saw this part. And it's sick, guys, so lock in. Another thing I loved about this movie is how you get to see all these Odyssey creatures on the screen. Growing up, I've heard stories about Cyclops, I've heard stories about the Trojan Horse, and to finally see it on a big screen and look this good was awesome. I love that Cyclops scene so much. I think he looked incredible. He was so scary. He was eating people up. It almost gave the Odyssey like a horror element, which I think it does contain. It's nice to see the movie actually using that horror element to make it a little scary. Because yeah, there's a fucking Cyclops. It should be scary. So yeah, the way he emerges out of the shadow and then how big he is, how his face actually looks distorted, I really liked how good he looked. I also like in this movie how Odysseus may present himself as some strong guy who's such a warrior and can fight anything, kill anything, he's awesome. But then he also regrets doing the Trojan Horse. You see him regret the Trojan Horse, and it adds just another element to his character. I think the Odyssey did the character so well. I haven't read it personally, but from a film standpoint, characters are fantastic. I also like how hyped they were when they got out of that Trojan Horse and then released all their boys. Just reminded me of sports and how hyped people get for sports, so that was cool. One thing I will say though is how did they not see them turning into pigs coming? Now I know that sentence might sound a little crazy, but there's this scene where all the men go to this lady's house, and they don't know this lady, they just found her on the island, and they ask her for food. And she says, yeah, I'll give you some food. Just drop your armor in the back. And they drop their armor in the back and they see a bunch of other armor. What do you think happened to those people that they didn't take their armor back? You probably should get the fuck out of there. But they don't, and this lady like shapeshifts them into pigs. I didn't know that was a thing in the Odyssey, but my friend who read it said, yeah, that's a fucking thing. Did not expect that. It was really weird and different from everything else, so it makes it stand out. And I like the metaphor that I was trying to convey. So yeah, I thought that was a cool scene, especially when Odysseus comes and figures everything out for them and saves their ass. Cause like, yeah, that's just what he does. He's badass as fuck. He figures out situations. Yeah, he's super cool. And saves his men. I love the quote in this movie. I forget who tells Odysseus, but someone tells him, the gods say that you only make it home. And his response is, then I defy the gods. Cold as fuck. One critique I have though, is it felt like they just kept adding men to get killed. Like they would get off the boat with 40 men, get into a fight with someone, and then get back on the boat, and they'd have like double the men, even though like half of them just got killed. I understand they kind of needed to do that because there were so many monsters and stuff to fight, but like, bro, maybe find a better way. It's a little dumb and it looks a little stupid, and my friends are stupid, so if they're complaining about it, it must be a little obvious. So yeah, I didn't realize the story was so simple with just going home for Odysseus, and then Tom Holland is just finding his dad. It's a pretty simple story, but it's also so awesome how many battles are in it, how many trials are in it, how much progression is in it. For something so simple, it's awesome. And I thought it was crazy when the men ate the cattle. Like, bro, he literally told you, if you eat that cattle, you're gonna die. But they said, fuck it, they ate the cattle. They all end up dead. That was just insane to me. Literally one rule. Kind of reminded me of Adam and Eve. But yeah, just wanted to throw that in there. I also love the music when he leaves the island. It's so dramatic. It's almost like hopeful too. Like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go back home. Finally. Really enjoyed that music. It was kind of powerful. I enjoyed the music throughout the whole thing. I think it really fit the aesthetic of the Odyssey. So yeah, good music and stuff. And I normally like most music in movies because when a song comes on in a movie, it's normally fire. And at the ending, when Odysseus goes to talk to Anne Hathaway, I was begging him to finally show his face and say, yeah, I'm back. But thank God he didn't, because the way he showed himself was much cooler. Doing the bow and arrow thing he does earlier, and then killing everyone, awesome. Way better than the ending I was craving at the time. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Odyssey. I thought it was so good. I thought it was so awesome. Amazing to watch. So much action. And normally I don't like action because I'm kind of like burned out from superhero movies. But this action was so different that I loved it. But yeah, that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you're thinking about it. And the link to my skit channel where I attempt to get my funny on is in the link in the description below. But that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.